How did you end up with that role on Kenan and Kel, not just as a main role, but as his mum? It's quite a
Oh
big
yeah,
big deal.
just no, just another day in the world of an actor,
Yeah.
auditioned for it. That particular role, I remember getting the audition and I didn't even really know what it was for.
Okay.
So I kind of went in blind. And ever since then, I always say, I kind of like not having all the details because sometimes I think, just showing up and doing the work and going for it can
Yeah.
can also help, right? Um, yeah, so it was a regular audition, but I didn't have many details until I got there. And when casting was telling me about, oh, there's these two guys, they're from the show All That on
All that. Yeah.
Nickelodeon. And I literally was like, my eyes were so big. I was like, yeah, because let's back up. Prior to that, I had been watching All That because my daughter was real young at the time. So, I'm home still auditioning, but in the stay at home mom role at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I was calling people, literally saying, wait, there's this show on Nickelodeon called All That. It's like a, teen cast of Saturday Night
Saturday
Live.
Night Live. Yeah.
And I was like, these kids are literally talented. Like they're incredible. And then I said this, but there's these two black guys that are just off the chart extreme. Like I
Like
was just like,
chemistry,
and
just like perfect. Yeah.
the chemistry. And then I even said, oh my goodness, I would love to work with them one day.
Wow.
Like I said that. So that was just a few weeks before I actually went in for the audition. So it was crazy. So when I went in, so I was already like, uh-huh, uh-huh. And they said, so the two guys, Kenan and Kel, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They said, they're getting their own show called the Kenan and Kel Show. I was like, and we're looking for the mom. I was like, OMG.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, this is mine. This is mine. This is mine. So the casting was like, oh, you're so funny. And I was like, no, 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 no. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm
Right.
actually being serious. This is mine. And I was like, you don't understand it? And they still kept laughing at me like, oh my God, you are so funny. And I'm almost in tears because I'm like, I'm not trying to be funny. I
Please take me
need
seriously.
like I was like, please take me serious and
Yeah.
send everyone home because this is mine. And all I thought about, so I'm a big I Love Lucy fan
Okay.
to where people would call me and I would say, what am I doing right now? I would answer the phone and say, what do you think I'm doing right now? I was so horrible. They were like, oh my God, you're watching Lucy. But I was like, every single back to back episode, that's when it would come
Yeah.
on back to back to back. I was like, that's what I'm doing. So why are you calling? I got to watch all episodes. Like I couldn't get enough of her. So I remembered this one scene where she's trying to get a job at this office. And, Lucy barely had experience in anything.
Right.
And so, like, work related, right? Um, so she starts telling a lie to all the other people who are in there for the interview.
Yeah.
Like, because she wanted to be the only one left in the room. So he would have to pick her. That's literally what I thought about.
Yeah. You're
I thought
literally
about
manifesting it.
yes, I need to tell everybody something so I could be the only person in the room. And like Lucy literally goes like, "Oh, he doesn't like a person with a gray skirt." And the person was like, "Oh my God, thank you," and run out to go find some other clothes. So she kept getting rid of everyone until she was the only one left. So I thought about that. The interviewing process was quick. I
Right.
mean, it was quick. But I landed it. I think 3 auditions later. I took all the notes from the producers. When it was up between me and one other person, there was some great talent in there. But let me tell you, I just was like, oh, you all may be too expensive because like I went up against some heavyweights. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
And they had come from series. I was like, oh, you're going to be too expensive. They probably were like, yeah, Tim won't be as expensive. So
No,
I was just
that's not it at all. You were clearly the best one for the job.
I look, whatever it took,
Yeah, right.
because when because I think as actors too, you go through that. Am I qualified for this? This is a series.
Yeah.
I had never done a series. You got to remember too, I for me, I kind of fell into the business. Okay.
Okay.
So this wasn't someone who was growing up studying. I mean, the other cast members, this is what they did,
Yeah.
including my TV daughter, who was, the youngest. For me, I started off in broadcasting. I thought I was going to be a journalist, but then I'm so opinionated and I editorialize everything. I was like, I'll never make it. They'll fire me because I
Okay.
read a story and I go, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And I would have an opinion about every story. So I was, but I still wanted to be in some aspect of media, right? So part of you're also saying, oh, am I qualified for this? Because kind of like the devil will always be in your ear going, why you? You're not qualified.
I'll
And
tell
I
you.
remember just really praying so hard to where I call it the bathtub testimony. I remember bathing and crying and literally hitting the water, like, just take it away if it's not for me. And I was getting the call for the second callback while I was crying
Oh, really?
and praying. And then I checked the messages later, and my agent was like, I hope you're around because you're going back in. No, it was the third callback. It was like, you're going
Wow.
back in. And it's literally between. That's what she said, literally. I know I use literally a lot. I love literally.
Yeah.
But she goes, it's between you and one other person. And I pulled it together and I felt it in my soul. I wanted it. We were going to shoot the pilot like right before Christmas. And I was like, this would be a great Christmas present. And of
Yeah.
course, when I got it, and I told the producers that, and my agent said, oh, by the way, the way she even gave me the news, she kind of, like dangled it. And then she eventually said, well, Merry Christmas. They wanted me to tell you, you got it.
Wow.
And then you still go and shoot the pilot. And then this is what you say. Ken Foray, the actor who played my husband, is like,
Yeah.
they could replace us. You can shoot the, like, I was like, it's never ending.
Yeah.
You have a job and don't know if you're going to have a job.
How long are you going to be doing it for? Yeah.
Yeah. But we were determined to nail it. We made a pact with each other because the boys, the young men, Kenan and Kel, were so good and so used to each other's timing.
Right.
They just played off of one another so well. My husband and I were like, we have to get together every night and run lines and do this because we have to keep up. Like they were sharp, So something to say about young actors. Like, I think they have something else in them. There's definitely some genius there for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience, great ride, We're still all in touch.
Oh, really? That's great. Yeah, I was going to ask. I was like, do you still speak to them? Like, you seemed like a really tight family, like on screen.
Yeah.
So, I must have come across in real life too,
Yeah. And sometimes not always, but like we could DM each other or talk to each other, or reach out at any moment and we're still talking. I'm with my TV daughter the most.
Cool. Kyra.
Yes, Vanessa Bacon Kelly, who's killing the entertainment game. She's doing amazing on behind the scenes as a producer and writer.
Cool.
She's creative. She's doing amazing and still acting, but that's her main thing right now as well. And I'm so proud of her. So we're always together. And we all just have a good time. Kel and I actually were just speaking through Instagram. Actually, we were talking just briefly. They're in touch with my daughter because she was on the set.
Of course,
with me. So yeah.
Cool. That's nice to hear that you're all still kind of cool. That's nice to hear. Do you have a favorite episode or a favorite moment that you did?
Every episode was my favorite. You have to understand, like, I don't know if anything will ever compare to that, because to show up for work, and of course I had it good being the main adult female lead, so there wasn't any going back and forth with anyone else. And not that I'm a pretty easygoing like person anyway, I don't show up for those kind of shenanigans. But other people brought that to my attention that guest starred on the show. They were like, you have it really great. It's just you.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was so much fun. every day because I could not believe I was in my lane, obviously. I loved it. First season was a challenge because
of course, yeah.
we filmed the seasons without it airing first. So you don't know what you look like. You don't know anything. You don't know how you're showing up, how your performance is. So you're in that vacuum. But one thing I said after that first season, I said, oh my goodness, I will never, comment really on, any kind of other situation comedy, because when they film like that, you don't know. And then a lot of times just finding that character, it's hard to do in that first season. It's hard to do. Sitcom goes really fast. It goes really fast. So it takes a minute to get your beat, to get your character, to find your footing, all of that. But every episode, I'm telling you, it was just such a blessing to be a part of it. We were all so close. It was a blessing. And then we just all had our own type of comedy. So it was a comedic fest all the time. You showed up, I even told my daughter, who was like 4, I was like, girl, you got to get some comedy. You got to be able to hang, get your comedy chops going.
Yeah.
Because, that's when she was probably missing teeth too. I said, they're going to talk about you. Kenan Kel, they're going to talk about you.
They'll bring that up. Yeah, I guess from the kind of environment of all that, it's like a Saturday Night Live kind of show, like you're going to get the kind of quick, style of comedy and stuff. And the fact that the chemistry between everybody was so great just made the episode so fun to watch. I should mention, though, the Christmas episode. I don't know if you remember the Christmas one. But that's it's one of my favorite Christmas TV specials ever. I watch it all the time. They still show it over here in the UK on TV a bunch of times. And around Christmas time, it's always on. So I'll always watch it. So that was probably my favorite one. And the one where the family are going to move to Montana and Kenan Kel are being separated.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
It was so emotional. It was not, you weren't ready for it at that young age for me anyway.
Well, no, let me tell you this. I do remember the Christmas one, and I do remember my daughter being an extra on that one, and another one, I think with which one was it? Because I remember Kenan always yelling at Talia, saying, Talia, stop looking into the camera. Stop looking at you. Not yelling in a mean way, just reminding her, Talia, don't look into the camera. Oh, we had so much fun. I mean, everyone looked out for her. But I remember the episode, I believe we were at a restaurant. Now, I'm just going to be honest. We could not stop laughing. So when we're at the restaurant, I think that's when the date or something, the sweater went into the pot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. First season.
And shrank it. Oh, my God. Let me just say this. I think I could be mixing episodes. I don't know. All I know is we're sitting having dinner, and I am laughing so hard because, first of all, I couldn't understand how Kel could play that role so well.
Just ridiculous.
He's not that person,
Right.
So for him to go into that role so committed, I could not believe it. So we were laughing so hard that I finally had to ask, our director, okay, let me make sure the camera is not on me.
Okay.
Because when he was doing the lines, I was crying because low-key, it was so stupid. I was looking at him like, you are so stupid. In a silly, fun way. How are you so committed? And then if he put extra on it,
Yeah.
It was crying. They had to okay, you guys. I was like, just get through this line. Let me get through my line because I can't. I got to finish this scene. So we had so much fun doing that. And so many times. And then sometimes we're laughing at each other, maybe the way you're saying a line. Or if you can't remember it and it is a simple line. So Kenan and I would always be in each other's ear going stuff like, look at him. Look, what? We always had this side chatter. Always.
That's so funny.
And let's just shout out to Kenan. I mean, come on. Listen, I'm going to say it. I always knew the genius in him. So when actors accept their awards, right? It's like Emmys, whatever award an artist is accepting, Oscar, Grammy, all of it.
Right.
Especially actors, you know how they give all this kudos to like their cast members, and you're thinking, they were okay. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
But it's when you're working side by side with a person, you then see their genius. Because there's all of these other little nuances that the audience doesn't see necessarily.
Yeah.
That for that actor to get to that point or get to that role or that scene, right? That as castmates, we see.
Yeah.
And that's when you go, like Kenan would be off book. He would be off book by the time we had the round table, like by the time we had rehearsal. It was to the point that I asked, does Kenan get his script before everyone else? Do Kenan and Kel get their script first?
Yeah.
Like, no. I was like, and remember, they had way more dialogue than any of us.
Of course, yeah.
And then you're doing physical comedy. So I was like, how? How do they have all this down so quick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just gifted, talented. No other way to look at it.
Yeah, he's killing it right now,
Killing it.